We have a very special guest. I'm so pleased to welcome Rachel's sister, Erin. Erin Morin-Layman is joining us. Erin, good morning to you. You and I have talked before, and I remember the last time we talked, you know, you were saying you're not giving up hope, and I was saying just be patient, they will get there. Law enforcement will get there eventually. What did you think when you heard that they did?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You take your time.
It's been a long road, and it was very overwhelming. This release of joy and sadness all at the same time, overwhelmed with tears. Just praising God and thanking Him for this capture. It did feel bleak for a while, but we tried to keep hope and, you know, just be patient, like Patty spoke about, and now we have them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Big relief.
Oh, I'm sure. And when you say Patty, and so you and Rachel are related on your dad's side, not on Rachel's mom's side, so to be clear. But of course, you know Patty, and you all have been such tremendous advocates for Rachel. I mean, just the hours that you all have spent in, it's got to be countless. And when you get to that point, I'm sure it is just a rush of feelings. What were you most interested to learn about, Erin?
The killer?
Yeah, you know, when police said we've got the guy, what were you most interested to understand or learn?
Well, you know, I always felt in my heart that it was possibly an illegal, you know, alien, and to find out that he was an illegal. And I know that there is a huge border crisis right now, and there's hundreds of thousands of people coming in and out of our country, and there's a lot of, you know, drugs and crime and sex trafficking and human trafficking, and so it was not a surprise. I kind of felt that, which is, you know, very sad. We should not be dealing with this, and if our border was secure, chances are this would have never happened. So I really feel it's important to really stress the fact we need to secure our border. And, you know, people want to come over, they have to be vetted. It has to be done the right way.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Exactly. Come here legally. Come here the lawful, correct, proper way. I'm with you. You know, one of the things I was most curious about is this guy's history, because we knew that the man who attacked Rachel, according to police, had done the attack in Los Angeles, attacking a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a brutal home invasion. And so I kept thinking criminal history. There's got to be more there with these two vicious attacks. And then investigators say that he fled from El Salvador because he did a murder there as well. That has to be so stunning. I'm curious, Erin, have you had any contact with these other families, you know, perhaps the family in California?
No, I have not. You know, due to the investigation, we couldn't get involved like that. You know, and they held, you know, things close to their chest. So, you know, they wanted to make sure that we captured him. So we let the cops and the FBI do everything they had to do to track this man down. And it's just amazing that the person who called in the tip happened to do it on Rachel's birthday on 5/20, which was actually like pretty miraculous. Because Michael and I went to the crime scene the day before Rachel's birthday to bring flowers, and we really felt in our hearts we needed to go there to pray. So I would say an hour or so, just, you know, praying to God and just crying out for the capture of this killer. And within that prayer, our hearts, you know, turned soft, and we're just like, you know, God, you know, you need to have the victory in this. You know, this guy not only needs to be arrested and pay for his crimes, but he needs to turn his life over to God, repent, and change his life. You know, because if he would just get captured, you know, die in prison, you know, where's the glory in that, right, for God? So both, you know, as confirmation that both of us in our hearts had forgiveness, which is not my normal me, but like, you know, it's God's heart and God's perspective. And, we went into the tunnel and, worshiped God. And we just had, a tremendous experience and felt God's closeness with us. And we knew that there was something shifting in this case after that day. And then to find out that the call came in on her birthday the very next day, it's just such a blessing.
Oh, it absolutely is. You had to have thought, this is Rachel from above, working with God. I know that you're a woman of faith. You've told us how she was a woman of faith, and this was her intervening in this, wasn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Erin, when we think about this nationwide manhunt, so many people, and I'm sure you've seen, I hope your family has felt the love for Rachel, for you, for all of you who've just been tormented all these months, wanting answers. People adore you all, and people aren't going to forget Rachel. Something somewhat stunning was that, we hear the expression, sometimes people can hide in plain sight, and the suspect, we learned, was staying with family in Maryland while this manhunt was going on. What did you think when you heard that?
I think it's shocking that, that the family wouldn't turn him in, wouldn't come forward, and that he was like in the midst of us for who knows how long. Did he leave immediately? We don't know. And, the crazy thing is him being arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What was his path all the way there? Who did he hurt along the way? So I hope, the investigation continues, that they keep on tracking everywhere he went to try to figure out if there's any other cold cases out there that he might be related to.
Right. Right. Excellent point. I'm sure they will go over things with a fine-tooth comb. And thankfully, now that they have the identity, as you know, Erin, that was the big thing. It was they had the DNA, but we got to put a face and a name to the DNA. And now they've got their suspect. Tell me, as we always like to do on this show, as you know, Erin, is put the focus on the victim, your beautiful sister. Tell us what she would want. I'm sure you reflected a lot about this, what she would want for you and all of her loved ones, her children, as you all move forward through the healing process in these coming weeks, months, and years.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that since day one. And I've been, her kids were always, number one. And I have, made it a mission to be there for them every chance I can get in any way I can, and just love them up. And, they're just amazing kids. They're so resilient and so loving. So we're just like, we're being a family, and we're trying the best we can. And there's moments where the kids will open up to me and tell me, hey, I remember when my mom did this, and they'll talk about memories of her, and just to keep her memory alive, and to, share things with them, and pictures and stories, and now that the oldest, Faye, she'll be 19 next month, she is pregnant.
Oh.
So Rachel, is going to be a grandmother.
Wow.
So I think that would have been
chills.
Super important. I know. So Rachel's definitely smiling down. She waited for this day to come. So I think just being there as much as I can for Faye and her baby girl that is going to be arriving in December.
That's incredible.
And I really wish, she could be here for that.
And I'm sure Rachel would say it's just what your family needed right now, more love, another wonderful family member, and you're already incredible family, Erin. We are so sorry for your loss with your beautiful sister, but she did not die in vain. Her name is going to be remembered, and her legacy will carry on through you and her grandbaby. Thank you for sharing that wonderful news with us, Erin. We'll look forward to talking with you more through the coming weeks. Take good care, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.